Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Anne Marie, and today I'm going to discuss the 10 Things I Love About You, The Return of Ellie Black by Emiko. This is a no spoilers book review, so don't worry about me revealing any plot twists or spoiling any surprise endings. The whole point of this is to simply give you an inside peek into the book. So here we go. The Return of Ellie Black is about a teenager living in Washington State who was found alive in the woods 2 years after she disappeared. However, something isn't quite right with Ellie, and she refuses to talk about where she's been. Thankfully, Detective Chelsea Calhoun, whose own sister vanished 20 years ago, is relentless in her pursuit for answers. The first thing I love about this book is Detective Chelsea Calhoun. In my opinion, she's everything a detective should be. Passionate about her career, with a no stone left unturned mentality. Every case is personal for Chelsea, especially this one, due to the similar circumstances of her sister's disappearance 20 years ago. Chelsea admits to often being impatient, but when it comes to solving cases, this has served her well because she recognizes the cost of time and how much you can lose in a minute. Chelsea is a Japanese American who was adopted and raised with her sister Lydia, who disappeared when they were teenagers. In addition to her sister vanishing, Chelsea's upbringing was also affected by her father, who was the police chief. The second thing I love is Ellie Black. She disappeared when she was 17. At the time of her disappearance, her mother described her to police as headstrong, stubborn, and bright, although her grades weren't great. After 2 years, Ellie returns, but she isn't the same. Although various professionals are trying their best to make sense of what happened to her, Ellie is refusing to talk about where she's been. The third thing I love about The Return of Ellie Black is the format in which the story is told. Following a prologue and 2 chapters written in third person, we then read Ellie's account of what happened. Her chapters are written in first person, and there are a total of 13 of them interspersed throughout the book. These chapters give us an inside peek as to what happened to Ellie after she disappeared, and they provide all the details that she is now withholding from investigators. The fourth thing I love is the setting. This story takes place in the Pacific Northwest along the coastline of Washington State, where the weather is temperamental and rarely above 65 degrees. It is often raining, and in Chapter 7, the morning is described as damp and cold, skulking. The sky is gray, the color of wet newspaper. The Olympic National Forest, with its giant Douglas firs and redwoods, is also a significant part of the book, since this is where Ellie was found by hikers. The fifth thing I love is how Ellie handles 2 years in captivity. We get all the details in the chapters told from her point of view, but ultimately Ellie did what was necessary to survive. We realize early on that something isn't quite adding up with her return. Something about it feels suspicious, but that's what makes this story so suspenseful. As readers, we're torn between being sympathetic and suspicious of Ellie, because we're not quite sure what is going on until the details of her captivity are slowly revealed. The sixth thing I love about this book are Ellie's parents. When Ellie first went missing, they mortgaged their house to offer a $50,000 reward. During the 2 years she was missing, Jimmy Black, Ellie's father, visited the police precinct every few months with coffee and donuts. Every time he was there, he reread the police report and looked at the evidence to see if there was anything the police missed. Kat, Ellie's mother, visited seedy bars to enlist the help of the local motor club in finding Ellie. She called psychics for help and even followed suspicious truckers for miles and miles to see if they would lead her to her daughter. Understandably, Ellie's disappearance took a toll on Jimmy and Kat, both physically and mentally, but they stuck together, desperately waiting and hoping for her return. Now that she has returned, both will do anything and everything to help her. The seventh thing I love is Ellie's boyfriend, Danny. His parents own a bar and restaurant called the Fish Trap, where Danny works. 2 years ago, he was a suspect in Ellie's disappearance. Considering the similar circumstances surrounding Detective Chelsea Calhoun's sister's disappearance, she was especially tough on him during his interrogation, which left him jaded and cynical. Now that Ellie has returned, Danny tries to slowly reconnect with her while being respectful of her need for space. Despite his chilly relationship with Detective Chelsea Calhoun, they quickly realize they need to work together to help Ellie. The eighth thing I love is Dr. Cerise Fisher. She is the counselor Ellie is referred to after she is found in the woods. Dr. Fisher's office is on the top floor of a converted Victorian mansion because she liked the idea of patients entering a place resembling a home. With her smooth and low voice and her inviting personality, she's been told her tone is reminiscent of her great-grandmother's, who immigrated from Jamaica and had been a nanny. Dr. Fisher is patient, sympathetic, and her methods of extracting information from Ellie are clever. Knowing Ellie doesn't want to talk about what happened to her, Dr. Fisher tries art therapy and has Ellie draw her feelings. This approach ultimately gives Detective Chelsea Calhoun a clue that proves crucial to the investigation. The ninth thing I love about this book is the sweatshirt Ellie was wearing when hikers found her in the woods. It has the University of Washington volleyball insignia on it, along with a blood stain that is submitted for DNA analysis. Detective Chelsea Calhoun uses details about this sweatshirt to progress the case, and when the lab tech calls her with the DNA test results, they're not what she's expecting. And finally, the 10th thing I love is that the return of Ellie Black kept me guessing until the very end. Stephen King described the book as, quote, a page-turning suspense novel, a shrewd character study, and a captivating mystery all at the same time. The last 50 pages are magnetic. I couldn't put it down until I'd experienced every last twist and turn. Yes, I completely agree with him. My advice is that when you get to the last 50 pages, make sure you are reading somewhere you won't get interrupted, because you will not want to stop reading. You will be completely absorbed in those last few chapters, desperate to find out how the story ends. If you've read The Return of Ellie Black and would like to add to my list of things to love, please do so in the comments. Until next time, take care, be well, and happy reading.